In June 2025, India's Home Minister Amit Shah made a declaration that instantly set off alarm bells across South Asia. He said India will never resume compliance with the Indus Waters Treaty. The water flowing to Pakistan will be diverted for domestic use. With that single sentence, a water-sharing agreement that has lasted over 6 decades was thrown into uncertainty. And Pakistan, they called it an illegal act, and even worse, an act of war. But wait, how can the suspension of a water treaty be considered an act of war? And more importantly, can India really cut off Pakistan's water supply? Is that even possible? Let's dive into the facts, history, and technical reality of one of the world's most crucial and fragile water-sharing treaties, and why what's happening in 2025 could change South Asian geopolitics forever. So what is the Indus Waters Treaty anyway? When India and Pakistan were partitioned in 1947, the new borders didn't just divide people and land, they split rivers too. The Indus River system, which had flowed freely for centuries and had made the subcontinent one of the most prosperous regions of the world, was now shared by 2 nations that didn't trust each other. Barely 6 months after partition, India cut off water from the Firozepur headworks to Pakistani Punjab, and made it painfully clear that water was going to be a political weapon if left unmanaged. After years of tension and international concern, the World Bank stepped in to mediate. The result was the 1960 Indus Waters Treaty, signed by Indian Prime Minister Nehru and Pakistani President Ayub Khan. Here's what it did. It split the 6 rivers of the Indus Basin. India got the 3 eastern rivers, Ravi, Beas and Sutlej. Pakistan got the 3 western ones, Indus, Jhelum and Chenab. Those western rivers, they make up around 80% of the total volume of the Indus system. Even though those rivers flow through India first, the treaty required India to let most of that water continue unimpeded to Pakistan. India retained limited rights, mainly for non-consumptive uses like hydroelectricity and a small amount of irrigation. It was a massive concession, one that reflected a hope that maybe, just maybe, water could be kept out of the wider India-Pakistan conflict. At the time, Prime Minister Nehru believed the deal would bring long-term peace and regional stability. With the World Bank mediating and India aiming to focus on development, giving Pakistan the lion's share of water was seen as a price worth paying to avoid future conflict. And for over 60 years it worked, even during wars, even during diplomatic breakdowns. The water kept flowing, until now. The Indus River system is not just important to Pakistan, it is absolutely essential. Around 220 million people in Pakistan rely on this river system for drinking water, farming and industry. It irrigates over 90% of the country's agriculture, including key crops like wheat, rice and cotton. Without it, the entire rural economy collapses. And the bigger problem? Pakistan has almost no alternatives. It's a country of nearly 250 million people with one major water source. Right now, Pakistan's per capita water availability is just above 1,000 cubic meters per year. That's the global threshold for water scarcity. Below that, you're in crisis territory. Some projections suggest Pakistan could drop well below that within the next few years. To make things worse, Pakistan doesn't have much storage capacity. While India can store up to 200 days' worth of water, Pakistan can barely store enough for 30. That means any reduction in river flow, whether from India's projects or climate change, hits fast and hard. So when a senior Indian official talks about redirecting water, for Pakistan it's not just a negotiation tactic. It is, quite simply, an existential threat. Let's be clear. India can't just turn off the tap. These are major rivers flowing through vast and rugged terrain after all. But over time, India can absolutely reduce the amount of water that reaches Pakistan, and it's already moving in that direction. Here's how. The treaty does allow India to use the western rivers for certain things. It can generate hydroelectricity, irrigate up to 701,000 acres, and store up to 3.6 million acre-feet of water. For decades, India barely used these rights, but now that's changing. How? The Kishanganga hydroelectric project diverts water from a tributary of the Jhelum River for power. Pakistan objected, but the international court sided with India. The Ratle project on the Chenab River is another flashpoint. Pakistan says it violates flow rules. India insists it's compliant. Then there's the Uj multi-purpose project. It aims to store over 170,000 acre-feet of water from the Ravi River, water that currently flows into Pakistan unused. Individually, these projects don't cut Pakistan off, but together they allow India to come much closer to using its full share, and crucially, to control the timing and volume of what flows downstream. Pakistan's options are limited but not non-existent. It can file disputes under the treaty framework. The World Bank still acts as a mediator, and previous cases like Kishanganga show that international arbitration can work, though it's slow and unpredictable. Pakistan can also try to internationalize the issue, bring it to the United Nations, rally diplomatic pressure from allies. But legally, as long as India stays within its rights under the treaty and without clear violations, it's hard to rally support. War? It is possible. Both nations have nuclear weapons. Even a small conflict over water could spiral into catastrophe. Domestically, Pakistan has work to do. It loses around 60% of its water due to inefficient irrigation and leaks. Its canal infrastructure is outdated. It needs better water storage, better farming techniques, and better planning. Because no matter what India does, climate change is coming, and that might be an even bigger threat. So, what's likely to happen next? What India can do next, and is already doing, is build out its side of the river system. Take the Bursar Dam, planned on a tributary of the Chenab, one of the western rivers that Pakistan depends on. If completed, it would let India store and release water based on its own needs. That's a big shift. Projects like Pakaldul, also in the Chenab basin, don't store much water but still give India control over timing, when to release, how fast, how slow. Add to this the fact that India has now stepped away from the Permanent Indus Commission. The only real system both sides have to talk things out. That's a signal. India's done waiting. Pakistan will keep pushing back, raising objections, going to the World Bank, bringing it up at the United Nations, but its options are narrowing. Without new water infrastructure or political leverage, it's stuck in a reactive position. Yes, climate change will play a role in all this, but it's not the main story. The main story is about two countries pulling in opposite directions, one building leverage, the other trying not to lose ground. So, does this end in war? Maybe not. But the treaty that once kept things stable, it's fraying. And if both sides keep going like this, it may not hold forever. So while India can't entirely stop water from reaching Pakistan, it's building the tools to control more and more of it. And in a water-scarce world, that control is power. Let us know what you think in the comments. Is this a natural step for India or a dangerous escalation? And what should Pakistan do next? If this helped you understand what's at stake, give it a like, subscribe for more deep dives, and stay tuned. Until next time, thanks for watching.